Hello everyone, welcome to Teacher Julie channel. Everyone, we have our new topic in TLE Cookery 10, which is all about present meat dishes. So this will be the fourth quarter topic and week number 7. This topic is a milk-based. For the most essential learning competencies in this topic, the first one is to present meat dishes aesthetically based on classical and cultural standards. The second one is to select suitable plate according to standard in serving meat dishes. And the third one is to present meat dishes hygienically and sequentially within the required time frame. Food plating and presentation is not just for fine dining restaurants. You too can create visually appealing dishes at your own kitchen. Food presentation prefer fun designs rather than serious and traditional presentations. It is all about timing. There is no point in offering your guest a fancy dish if it is cold, when it was supposed to be served hot. Food presentation is just as essential to the success of a dish as its taste and flavor. The way the food looks on the plate is what tempts our eyes and makes you want to taste it. The following are the way of presenting food on the plate. When you're plating food, the goal is to create a dining experience that tempts all the senses, not just the palate. When food looks appetizing, the body actually produces more fluid that aid in nutrient absorption, so you might even say that beautiful food is more wholesome than food that doesn't look appealing. To achieve restaurant quality presentation, start with brightly colored, well-cooked food. Layer the food and play with constructing colors and textures to increase its visual appeal. Finally, garnish the plate with flavorful herbs or spices. To start with beautiful food, avoid monochromatic color scheme. A plate of food looks more appealing when there's a high level of contrast in colors. Another one is if you're about to serve several light-colored foods like grilled chicken and mashed potatoes, adding a serving or two of fruits and vegetables is a fantastic and easy way to add pops of color. Another one is if you are not sure how to add color or utilize garnishes, nearly any savory dish is well served by a sprinkling of fresh chives, parsley, dill or mint. Lemon and lime wedges are welcome alongside poultry and seafood dishes. Bring out vegetables' brightest colors. The way you cook your vegetables has a lot of bearing on the overall visual effect of a meal. Lightly steam instead of boiling. Steaming vegetables makes them look appetizing and flavorful, while boiling creates the opposite effect. Roast or sauté them with little oil or butter. Roasted or sautéed vegetables look quite appetizing when they're allowed to caramelize in a little in oil or butter. The following are to cook fried foods carefully. Underdone or overcooked fried foods are difficult to present in appealing way. Fried foods can look beautiful on the plate, but it's important to fry them well and have a plan for dealing with oil so it doesn't match up the rest of the dish. Cook fried foods until they're golden brown, then let them drain on the plate lined with paper towels to absorb the extra oil. Otherwise, the food will leave sticks or grease on the plates. The following is to experiment with interesting shapes. Cutting vegetables in interesting shapes can make the simple become special. You can cook and serve vegetables, dessert, hot pies, and other foods inside unique shapes. The following is to plating it with care. When in doubt, choose white plates. White plates don't compete visually with the food you are serving. They provide contrast, making colors appear brighter and textures more interesting. If you have a set of special plates with a pattern or with a certain color scheme, it's fine to use theme. Just make sure they complement the food you are serving instead of vying for attention. Another plating it with care is to don't forget to take the rest of the table into consideration too. Cutlery, glasses, and linings will enhance the overall appearance of the dish upon the table. The following is to visualize the finished plate. Consider how to present the main portion in relation to the side dishes. Consider where it will look best on the plate with the other elements of the dish. Consider also how to get best impact. The appearance and symmetry are all affected by whether the food is sliced thinly, thickly, or left whole. The following is to limit portion sizes. Only fill about 2/3 of each plate with food. The rest of the plate should be left empty. The negative space will provide contrast with food, making it look more appetizing. If the plate is loaded with food, the food itself won't look as visually pleasing. Keep standard serving sizes in mind and aim to serve just the right amount of each part of the dish. Another limit portion sizes. As a general rule, half of the food on the plate should comprise of vegetables, 1/4 meat or another protein, and 1/4 starch. Another limit portion sizes is that start plating food in the center of the dish and work outward from there, so that the food is centered in the middle of the plate. The following is to play with different texture. Creating a texture contrast is a good way to draw the eye. Too many soft or crunchy foods on the plate are unappealing, but a combination of both is delicious. Different texture harmonize to create a pleasing dining experience. Leaving one of the elements out would result in a less appealing dish. The following is to use sauce wisely. If you're serving curry, stew, or soupy casserole, drain the food of its sauce before serving. Then pour on just the right amount when you plate the dish. The way you can control the amount of sauce and use it to make the dish look decorative. The following is to keep up with food styling trends. Remember, the styles changes within the space of a few years or even months. Keep up to date by checking out cooking magazines, cooking or foodie websites, and cooking shows for current ideas. The following is to add appetizing touches. Use garnishes that enhance the flavor of the meal, no matter what you are serving. Make sure the garnish actually makes the dish better instead of just cluttering up the plate. The following is to employ drizzles and swirls. Another way to finish food is with a drizzles or swirl of a concentrated sauce or liquid. For savory dishes, this might be a small squeeze of remoulade, pesto, or flavored oil. For sweet dishes, adding chocolate sauce, fruit jam, or cream anglaise might be the most delicious way to add that finishing touch. Another way to employ drizzles and swirls is to, rather than just pouring a sauce over a food, consider putting it in a squeeze bottle so you can create a pretty swirl or pattern. If you don't have a squeeze bottle, put the sauce in a plastic food storage bag, cut a small piece off one of the corners and squeeze the sauce through the bag. Another way to employ drizzles and swirl is to don't overdo it. The key is to add a touch of color, flavor, and texture without overpowering the main part of the dish. The following is to make sure the plate is clean. Examine the edges of the plate for fingerprints and smudges. A great way to clean up the edges of the plate is to dip a paper towel in a cup of water with a dash of white vinegar. Wipe the rim of the plate so that no food residue or prints are visible. This gives your presentation a professional touch. The following are the basic principles of platter presentation. Presentation must have three elements. The first one is centerpiece, may be uncut portion of the main food item. The second one is that slices or serving portions of the main food item arranged artistically. The third one is garnish, arranged artistically in proportion to the cut slices. Another basic principle of platter presentation is that the food should be easy to handle and serve. So, one portion can be removed without ruining the arrangement. Another basic principle of platter presentation is that simple arrangements are easier to serve and more likely to be still attractive when they are half demolished by the guest. Another basic principles of platter presentation is that attractive platters are made of metals, mirrors, china, plastic, or woods, presentable and suitable for use with food. Another basic principle of platter presentation is that it must look attractive and appropriate not only by itself but among other presentations on table. The following are the 5 basic elements of plating. First one is to create a framework. Start with drawings and sketches to visualize the plate. Find inspiration from a picture or object. Assemble a practice plate to work on executing your vision. Another basic element of plating is to keep it simple. Select one ingredient to focus on and use space to simplify the presentation. Clutter distracts from the main elements of your dish that might confuse the diners on what to focus on. Another basic element of plating is to balance the dish. Play with colors, shape, and textures to ensure diners are not overwhelmed. The presentation should never overpower the flavors and function. Another basic element of plating is to get the right portion size. Ensure that there is the right amount of ingredients and the plate complements the dish, not too big or not too small. Strike the right proportion of protein, carbohydrates, and vegetables to create a nutritionally balanced meal. The last basic elements of plating is to highlight the key ingredient. Ensure that the main ingredient stands out and pay equal attention to the support. This refers to the other elements on the plate, such as garnishes, sauces, and even the plate itself.